everyone, ready to dive into something fascinating. Today we're exploring the world of magic.
Ooh, magic.
Don't worry, we're not talking about pulling rabbits out of hats. This is about ancient wisdom, powerful forces, and the intersection of the spiritual and natural worlds.
It's fascinating how pervasive the idea of magic has been across cultures and throughout history.
Right.
And what we often call magic is really about understanding hidden connections, tapping into unseen forces, and ultimately seeking knowledge beyond the everyday.
Exactly. And the source material you shared is a great example of that, a 17th century translation of a text called the Arbatel of Magick. Just the title alone makes you want to know more, right?
Definitely.
Okay, so the Arbatel of Magick. How does this text approach magic differently than, say, what we see in popular culture?
Well, imagine a system of magic where the real magic comes from understanding hidden connections, tapping into the unseen forces of the universe, and using that knowledge responsibly. That's the core of the Arbatel.
Okay, so less about supernatural feats and more about, like, deeply understanding the world around us.
Exactly. And that's where it gets really interesting. The Arbatel doesn't just throw around vague ideas about hidden knowledge. It breaks down this spiritual wisdom into three distinct types of magic: divine, astrological, and what it calls natural philosophy.
3 different types of magic, you say? That's interesting.
Yeah. Each one offers a different lens through which to view the interconnectedness of everything.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Break these down for me a bit. What makes each one unique?
Okay, so divine magic is all about connecting with a higher power, tapping into that divine order, and aligning yourself with it. Think of it as seeking wisdom and guidance from a source beyond human understanding.
So less about casting spells, more about spiritual connection.
Right.
What about astrological magic? That sounds pretty self-explanatory.
It might seem that way, but it's deeper than just reading your horoscope.
Okay.
Astrological magic in the Arbatel explores how the movements of celestial bodies influence us here on Earth.
Oh, I see.
It's about understanding those cosmic connections and how they shape our lives.
Okay, so I'm starting to see how these different types of magic all tie back to this idea of understanding hidden forces and connections. So what about that last one, natural philosophy?
This one is all about understanding the hidden forces within nature itself. Think of it like this. For centuries, humans have been discovering these magical forces, harnessing them through science. The Arbatel suggests that there's a deeper, more spiritual dimension to these natural forces that we can tap into.
So it's about recognizing the magic within the natural world itself, not just the supernatural.
Yes, exactly.
I can see how that would have been a completely different way of thinking about magic back then.
Absolutely. And it's this unique approach that leads to the Arbatel's concept of secrets. And it's not about whispering passwords in a dark alley. These are profound truths about the universe just waiting to be uncovered.
Secrets, you say?
Yeah.
That sounds like we're about to step into even deeper territory.
We're just getting started. Remember those 3 types of magic we discussed? Well, the Arbatel suggests that each of these branches holds its own set of secrets: major secrets, mean secrets, and lesser secrets. It's like a treasure map of knowledge, each level unlocking a deeper understanding of the universe and our place within it.
Oh, wow. It's like those video games where you level up your character, gaining new abilities and knowledge at each stage.
I like that analogy.
But instead of defeating monsters, you're unlocking the secrets of the universe.
And just like in those games, some of these secrets are more coveted than others. The Arbatel mentioned some pretty remarkable possibilities.
Okay, you can't just drop a line like that and not elaborate. Give us a taste. What kind of remarkable possibilities are we talking about?
Let's just say the Arbatel, it doesn't shy away from bold claims.
Okay.
We're talking about things like curing any disease in just 7 days, discovering the secret to a longer life, even having power over elemental creatures.
Whoa, okay. Curing diseases and commanding elemental creatures. That's definitely next level stuff. But with that kind of power, I have to ask, does the Arbatel address the whole, with great power comes great responsibility thing?
It absolutely does. The Arbatel is very clear that this spiritual wisdom, this magic, it's a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for evil.
So how does the Arbatel draw the line between good magic and bad magic?
It all comes down to intention and alignment. The Arbatel talks about 2 opposing paths: theosophy and cacosophy.
Theosophy and cacosophy.
Yeah, theosophy is all about seeking knowledge and power for the benefit of oneself and others, always with that focus on aligning with divine will. It's about using your understanding of these hidden forces for good, for healing, for growth, both personally and for the world around you.
So it sounds like theosophy is about using this magical knowledge with a sense of responsibility and a higher purpose.
Right.
So what's the other side of that? What's cacosophy all about?
Cacosophy is presented as the kind of the shadow side of this pursuit, using spiritual knowledge for selfish reasons, manipulating others, or chasing power just for the sake of having it.
Right.
Basically, it's the classic, tale of letting ambition and ego drive you down a dangerous path.
It sounds like a recipe for disaster no matter what century you're in. But let's shift gears for a second. If this spiritual wisdom is so powerful, is it something that anyone can just decide to tap into, or does the Arbatel talk about like who gets to wield this kind of magic?
That's where it gets even more interesting. The Arbatel introduces this idea of predestination when it comes to true magicians.
Predestination. So you're either born with the potential to become a magic user or you're not.
That's one way to interpret it.
Okay.
The text suggests that some individuals, they come into this world with an innate capacity for magic, a kind of spiritual calling.
Yeah.
It's like they're hardwired for it from the get-go. But that doesn't mean everyone else is simply out of luck. The Arbatel also outlines a sevenfold path, a sort of training regimen for the soul that anyone seeking this knowledge can undertake.
Oh, interesting. So even if you aren't one of the chosen ones, you can still like strive to develop these abilities. I'm sensing a wax on, wax off moment here.
Exactly. It's about dedication, discipline, and aligning yourself with the right principles. The Arbatel stresses that it's not about taking shortcuts, but about embarking on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. This path emphasizes piety, self-awareness, and resisting those more tempting, less ethical uses of this powerful knowledge.
So it's less about waving a wand and more about mastering yourself. But how does all of this actually play out in the real world? Does the Arbatel give us any like examples of this magic in action?
It does. The Arbatel points to figures like Melina and the Sibyls as examples of individuals who've tapped into these hidden forces.
Okay, I have to admit I'm drawing a blank here. Who are Melina and the Sibyls?
So Melina, she's a figure straight out of European folklore.
Okay.
Often depicted as having these incredible magical powers and the ability to see into the future.
Wow.
Think of her as a sort of sorceress queen.
Okay.
The Sibyls, on the other hand, they were these prophetic women from ancient times, believed to be conduits of divine inspiration and able to predict events before they unfolded.
Yeah, so we're talking individuals with extraordinary abilities and influence.
Yes.
But how does the Arbatel, like, how does it connect them to this idea of magic as spiritual wisdom?
The Arbatel seems to present them as individuals who, whether through innate talent or divine connection, they've mastered those hidden forces.
Yeah.
And use that knowledge to shape events, influence outcomes. They represent the potential of what's possible when you unlock those deeper levels of understanding.
So it's not just about abstract knowledge, but about the potential to like impact the world around you. I'm starting to understand why this text is so fascinating.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
The Arbatel goes even deeper, introducing us to something it calls the Magician's Toolkit. It's not about wands and cauldrons, though.
Okay, now you've really piqued my curiosity. If it's not the typical magical props, what does the Arbatel consider to be essential tools for someone walking this path? You're telling me there's a magician's toolkit, but it's not about the typical magical props. What does the Arbatel consider to be essential tools for someone walking this path?
Get ready for a different kind of magic, because the Arbatel's toolkit is all about understanding and utilizing the hidden connections within the very fabric of the universe.
Okay.
It's about tapping into forces that most people might overlook.
Like what?
For instance, the Arbatel places great importance on the power of names and characters.
Names and character. Are we talking about like magical symbols or secret codes?
You're on the right track. The Arbatel suggests that names hold a deeper significance than we might realize. They have a certain power,
Okay.
a vibrational resonance that connects to specific forces or entities within the universe. It's like each name acts as a key unlocking a specific door in this hidden world.
So each name has like a unique frequency vibrating with a particular energy.
Right.
What about these characters? What role do they play in this toolkit?
Think of characters as visual representations of these energies and connections. They are symbols that hold deeper often magical meanings. They act as a visual language that allows you to tap into these hidden forces more directly.
It's fascinating how the Arbatel takes these seemingly everyday concepts, names, symbols, and reveals a whole other layer of meaning and power behind them. What else is in this toolkit?
The Arbatel highlights the significance of the number 28 and the divided circle. It's like discovering a hidden code embedded within the very structure of creation.
Okay, numerology. This is where things always get interesting. What's so special about the number 28?
Well, the number 28, it pops up in all sorts of mystical and religious traditions.
Right.
It often represents cycles, completeness, and the natural order of the universe.
Okay.
In the Arbatel, 28 is connected to the image of a circle divided into 28 parts.
Oh, interesting.
Imagine a cosmic pie chart, if you will, and each slice represents a different aspect of creation,
Okay.
a different secret waiting to be unlocked.
So this divided circle becomes like a map, and understanding the significance of each of those 28 segments helps you navigate the mysteries of the universe.
Precisely. It's like a blueprint to
Oh.
a deeper understanding of how everything is interconnected.
Right.
And how you, as a seeker of this spiritual wisdom, can tap into those connections.
This is giving me serious Indiana Jones vibes. We're talking about ancient texts, hidden meanings, and the potential to unlock incredible knowledge. But before we get too caught up in the adventure of it all, you mentioned earlier that the Arbatel also talks about working with spirits.
Yes, and this is where that emphasis on ethics and responsibility becomes even more crucial. The Arbatel speaks about calling upon specific spirits for specific purposes.
Okay, so not just summoning any random spirit, but like understanding the hierarchy, the
Yeah.
different types, and their
Yes.
roles within this larger cosmic system.
Exactly. The Arbatel provides guidance on how to approach these spirits with respect, how to request their assistance, and most importantly, how to do so without straying into dangerous or disrespectful territory.
So it's about understanding that these spirits are not just forces to be commanded, but rather beings to be respected, collaborated with.
Yes.
It's about building bridges, not burning them.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's about recognizing the power and the intelligence of these entities while approaching them with humility and understanding.
Wow. This deep dive into the Arbatel has been it's been mind-blowing. It's incredible to think about how people centuries ago were grappling with these same big questions about the universe, about hidden knowledge, and our place in it all.
What I find most compelling about the Arbatel is its enduring message about the importance of approaching knowledge, especially knowledge about hidden forces, with a sense of responsibility and respect.
It's a good reminder that knowledge is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used to build incredible things or to cause harm. It all comes down to the heart and intentions of the one who wields it.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So listener, as we resurface from this deep dive into the world of the Arbatel, we're left with a lot to ponder. What resonated most with you? What questions does this spark for you? The journey of exploration and discovery, it's never ending. And who knows? Who knows what hidden truths are waiting to be uncovered?